Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. We hope you're ready for a show here on League Unlocked. My name is Eric, and we have reached the knockout rounds for the play-in stage, which means one best-of-5 series away from making the main group draw at the World Championship and going up against the very best teams on the entire planet. The first matchup on the docket was, of course, the biggest mismatch on paper, at least, because you had Damwon, the LCK, first time ever being in the play-ins. They were the only undefeated team in the group stage, and while maybe they weren't as dominant as people were anticipating in that group stage, they were still perfect and had some moments of absolute annihilation where they were fountain diving and kind of styling on these kids, going up against Lowkey, who were the second seed from the weakest group in play-in. So yes, Damwon, massive favorites heading into this one, and you know you might have to do something a little bit weird if you want any chance of taking them down. Nuggery gets Vladimir, Yuumi Garen in the bot lane for Damwon, and the weird thing that Lowkey decided to do was, you know what, we're gonna lane swap. Throw the bottom laners in the top lane. We'll three-man dive Nuggery. We'll just follow him around the map and make sure that we are constantly killing him. And Celebrity was getting pretty darn fed on the Tristana. There was a huge gold lead early on for Lowkey, but Damwon does what Damwon does. Showmaker on an Akali, Canyon on the Kiana. They have 3 assassins basically in this comp, so Showmaker gets them back into this game, but the same push, they get a little bit too greedy for a turret, and that is Celebrity on the Tristana, TPing behind to start cleaning this one up. A Nuclear does get a kill, but check out the Goomba Stomps that are gonna come in here. All the low health members. You gotta love seeing a Yuumi get 3-shot, by the way. Triple kill. He already had an Infinity Edge and a Zeal at 12 minutes on that Tristana, and then it was another scrap here around the Mountain Dragon. The Ornn comes in on the side, gets the knock-up onto that Garen, and again, keep your eyes on Celebrity on that Tristana here. He is just left again, cleaning up. He survives and gets out to the edge, and then he decides to pop back in, flashes to safety, another triple kill. This Tristana was absolutely disgustingly fed, and the early game was insane for Lowkey. They had a 5,000 gold lead by 15 minutes. The fact that Damwon were even alive in the game at this point, and this looks eerily similar to what we saw in the LCK when team fights go a little bit crazy and it becomes an improv show. It becomes Showmaker and Nuggery as the 2 remaining members on Damwon to completely turn a fight around, and that is exactly what they did here on that Akali and the Vladimir, popping the GA of Celebrity. He's left to wait, pop back out, and die. Okay, Damwon somehow back in this game until DNK, you can't even call it a Baron steal because Canyon wasn't in the pit. A huge miscommunication mistake from Damwon results in the Baron going over to Lowkey, but that shouldn't even matter because somehow Damwon are still bouncing back into this game. Now they have 23 kills. They got 3 Infernals, a late game Vladimir. It's 5v3, but they overstep, they miscalculate the respawn timers. The rest of Lowkey all show up. The Nexus turrets, by the way, the MVP of this fight, putting in some disgusting amounts of damage, and they're left to run and hide. There's a couple of GAs they have to get through, but check out Celebrity pretty much instantly. He's gonna TP to that top lane where they already had some inhibitors down. They have the Baron buff, remember, and you know that things are going to be very rough for Damwon, and it's so rough that we're going to see this turnaround again, because that's how insane it was. It's a 5v3, and you think they have time to close this game out, but they, for whatever reason, they weren't even close. Pushing against Baron minions, you have absolutely no chance of actually closing out quickly, and again, we get back to the TP of Celebrity going into the top lane, and the rest of the boys are gonna slowly follow behind him, and of course, he's eventually going to close out that game, come from behind. Lowkey, it wasn't a come from behind, they were winning for most of it to take game 1 as absolutely nobody would have predicted, and into game 2, it's again some issues for Damwon, just misplaying that first blood. Canyon and Nuggery, they get taken down by the Gragas, and then it's around the Rift Herald. This time it is a bit of an ugly contest there from DNK, and he's going to have to flash out, but he's still going to go down. The Rift Herald does go over to Damwon, and things are looking pretty good for them here. The Pyke tries to pull them out, but the chase doesn't end there. They keep on going. Beryl got his Alistair, by the way, in this game too. The headbutt combo lands in, and Damwon just split up on two sides, clean up a whole bunch of kills to go with that Rift Herald. And this is where you get to see Taliyah and Qiyana in the jungle. Just, there's a lot of things going around there. I don't know how you even keep track of a fight. Apparently Lowkey could not really do it. It ends up being a double kill here for Nuclear, and in a much cleaner and much calmer game 2, Damwon come away with the victory. Much more what we were anticipating coming into this one, way more than game 1 to tie this series up, and we go into game 3, and this time Celebrity and Lowkey take away the Kai'Sa, but you have the bottom lane of Yasuo Gragas, and then you have Canyon on that Taliyah pick. Nuguri gets the Jace in the mid lane, and he was absolutely annihilating that top lane. That was 10 minutes. He was grabbing that first turret blood, and then eventually Lowkey are going to dive that Jace, and they do kill him. Kudos to them, but they go a little bit too deep as the Gragas and Yasuo show up to the fight, clean up. It's a double kill for Showmaker actually on the Renekton. The Skarner is going to run his little Scorpion heart out, but he will be chased down with the nice flick back for Canyon on that Taliyah. That was a lot of kills going over to Damwon. This time around the Baron, Canyon is actually in the pit, and they do secure it. But the Gnar into the wall for Lowkey. How many times have we seen a Gnar completely turn over a Baron team fight? Nuguri, by the way, recalled to get some items and TP'd way too far away to this fight. Ends up being an ace in the favor of Lowkey. It looked like that could maybe be their way back into this game, but the gold lead was still so insane for Damwon that even though they gave up a full ace around the Baron buff, they still had such a huge lead and big control over the entirety of the map, basically. And now all of a sudden, you're on the wrong side of the base, Lowkey. And Damwon says, oh, you know what, maybe we can just run it down here and close out the game. And that is exactly what Canyon and Nuguri did to take game 2. Kind of a very different kind of base race than what we saw in game 1. Not a base race at all, as Damwon takes a 2-1 series lead. We go into game 4, and it is the Yuumi Xayah, something we don't see that often. The Yasuo Gragas goes over to Lowkey, and the Nidalee for DNK, something that we see a lot in the Vietnamese scene. Early on, it was a 3-man, call it 4-man dive on the bot lane, which has historically been the weakest point of Damwon, but Nuclear and Beryl play it super clean here. It's a bit of a botched dive from them, but they end up being a 2-for-1 in a 4v2, which is obviously absolutely incredible. And then the 2v2 here with Showmaker and Canyon when the Cannon eventually shows up to clean this one up. By the way, the theme throughout this series was, yes, Nuguri picking Klepto and a call on a lot of champions. He did it on the Kennen. That was a 20-minute Baron here for Damwon. This game was slow and controlled, but Damwon had a disgusting gold lead. The minute that Baron spawned, they were on it and taking it down. Kennen is 1v2 in the base under Nexus turrets. Showmaker finally shows up to the fight and just eradicates absolutely everybody on Lowkey for the triple kill. 13 kills to 2. Nothing else but those 2 kills to the name of Lowkey eSports as Damwon. They come back from that game 1, I don't want to call it a debacle, the mess that was game 1 to win 3 in a row in, I mean, more and more convincing fashion each time to take this series 3-1. They are going to the main stage at groups. Listen, Lowkey, they did something crazy in that game 1, the lane swap, and it absolutely worked for them. But aside from that, there wasn't really any madness besides a Nidalee pick that was very underwhelming. But Nuclear and Beryl, I think, stepped up in a big way for this series. Showmaker was Showmaker, and really the top side, Nuguri, was the biggest question mark in this whole series. He was dying a lot, but he continues to pick Klepto on literally every champion. At one point on the Vlad, he had Klepto, he had a Talisman for some extra gold. He's just completely unfazed by laning. He can take you with whatever runes he wants, and then by 20 minutes, he's going to be ahead in gold because of the runes and items that he's picked. So a very interesting strategy. We'll see if he does it against some of the best top laners on the entire planet. But either way, Damwon 3-1. It wasn't a sweep, but they are off to the main stage at Worlds. Coming up after the break, the second knockout round of the day, Clutch Gaming versus RYL Youth from the Turkish scene. Let's see if Clutch is playing like they were in the group stage or like they did in NA. Hello friends, we have returned to League Unlock as we roll on through the knockout rounds for the play-in stage, the second best of. We know how Clutch performed in the group stage at play-ins. They needed a tiebreaker. They were one game away from being fully eliminated and not making it even to the knockout rounds, let alone the main stage. And the hype-up videos between them and RYL Youth, you heard Demonte say nobody beats Clutch Gaming 3 times except for CLG when they do a reverse sweep in the third place match. But other than that, nobody does that to Clutch. That's why they took down Unicorns in that tiebreaker after losing 2 in a row. So in a best of 5, they should be absolutely fine against RYL Youth, who looked clearly like the weakest team in that Group D during the first day and a half. And then they played Flamengo twice and beat them pretty handily. So absolutely deserving of their second seed. Clutch, big favorites in this one, of course. But most people predicting RYL at least take 1 game, maybe go to 5, because that is apparently the only way Clutch knows how to play a best-of-5 series, is either reverse sweeping or getting reverse swept. And game 1 here, you should have known. Rule number 1 against Clutch, you got to ban Huni's Rumble. They do not do that, and you'd think maybe that solo lane Lucian's going to Huni. No, it is the mid lane for Demonte, the double AD carry comp, and early on, Huni, he's just rumbling around, going for the Rift Herald, and then this is going to quickly become a juicy 3v3 with everybody flashing in. The first kill goes over to Demonte. He does go down as well, but it ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Clutch. And then it's the Goon Squad coming to get Cody in the mid lane, but the nice ulti from the Kai'Sa to get around the Thresh hook, and then a nice hook from Vulcan to clean up another kill on to the LeBlanc, and that is 2 kills over to Clutch. The early game was giving them a very large lead. They start the Baron, completely starved out of vision for RYL Youth. They have to face check. Tolerant gets completely blown up. Cody Sun grabs another one onto Armut, and he's going to force the flash out of Ciel's LeBlanc as well. And now all of a sudden, it is a much easier Baron take for Clutch to only grow their already huge gold lead. The nice stopwatch, or Zanya's, from Huni there completely stops the engage. He does go down, but Demonte untouched on the side. Cody Sun is there to clean this one up, and that is exactly what he does. A bunch of kills go over to him. The inhibitor goes that way. Dominant fashion. This looks like what Damwon was supposed to do in their first game, but Clutch takes down the champs from the TCL to go up 1-0. Huni absolutely thrilled after that match. No, they got their game faces on. We go to game 2. It's the Rumble yet again for Huni. Mid lane Nico for Demonte, and the first Pyke we've seen out of Vulcan. And again, just like game 1, it's a 3v3 skirmish early on around the river. And again, it goes in the favor of Clutch. This time, even more so, because there's a kill in the bottom lane that happens simultaneously for a 4-1 start in favor of Clutch. And we know the memes. 10 minutes. Clutch is going to the Rift Herald, but this time, RYL Youth, how dare you? They're the ones who start the Herald. They leash it down to 2,000 HP, and then they all run away. And then they decide, oh, you know what, maybe we actually will contest in a 2v4, and yeah, they die, believe it or not. The Rift Herald still goes to Clutch because you cannot come between them and the Rift Herald, so big favor to Clutch. And then in the top lane, this was a spicy little skirmish. Huni is going to go down here to Closer's Elise, and then everybody's TPing in. Demonte gets a kill back onto the Elise, but remember, Cody Sun is not here for this fight yet as Pilot and Tolerant show up. Now it's a 3v2. They're just trying to buy time until Cody Sun can ulti in, They're going to get the kill onto the Renekton, but it ends up being a pretty even trade and even better for RYL because they're down in gold. Now we're around the Baron. There's no real way for the contest to come in for Clutch as Lyra secures it. The Renekton is going to go down, but CL on the Irelia almost saves the fight here, and that is a nice hook and flay from Tolerant, but Cody's son is going to grab the triple kill. Only the Thresh is left alive. He can land the hook, but it doesn't matter with the buffered W, and there's a QSS anyways out of Cody's son. Quadra kill on that Kai'Sa, and then again, this looks eerily similar to game one, excuse me. We go to the bottom lane again, and it is a fight overwhelmingly in the favor of Clutch because they have an insane gold lead and they have a Baron buff and they take a commanding 2-0 series lead. Damonte is done with that stick of gum because it's Tanner time and he doesn't have time to chew gum during that. Game 3, finally, Royal Youth say, okay, we'll ban the Rumble. And then, of course, Huni says, we're going to pick a Lucian and an Ezreal, but this time, I'm going to play Ezreal top. We put the Lucian in the bottom lane, and the bottom lane for Clutch was very thankful because Cody and Vulcan absolutely destroy the first blood against the Blitzcrank from Tolerant, and the 2v2 wasn't just great in the bottom lane, it worked in the mid lane as well. Damonte and Lyra putting on a clinic, perfect summoner timing there, and the Hex Flash is far from perfect there for Tolerant. It is another beautifully played maneuver from the bot lane of Clutch, and they're not done there. Pilot, he has to ulti in to survive, and you fast forward a little bit. This is greedy of him to stay for that CS. They trade flashes. Pilot goes down as well. He misses all the creeps. The bot lane advantage was absolutely huge in this one, and again, you got to throw in your Clutch highlight around the Rift Herald because it actually will happen every single game, and I think it's a genius strategy that it's baiting teams. This is how ahead Clutch was, by the way. The Ezreal of Huni is winning the 1v1 matchup against the Jace, and he's even throwing his ulti just for style points. Great zoning here by Vulcan to secure the Baron. He does go down, but it goes over to Clutch. Huni's going to die, and that is going to delay the push. It ended up being another Baron that Clutch would need after RYL defended a couple of times, but this time, Pilot dashing into the back line. It is not going to be enough because the Ezreal and Lucian both have their lifesteal items, and much like some of the other games, it is a quadra kill for Cody to close this one out again, and Clutch do what people were expecting Damwon to do early on in the day, a clean 3-0 sweep of Royal Youth, and I mean, really not too many hiccups there for Clutch. Sure, that last game took probably about 10 minutes longer than you would have liked for them to actually close out that game, but really, past 5 minutes, they rolled through all of these games. They were in control for 90% of the game in all three of these. Across the board, pretty solid performances for the entire roster. Cody's son, special shout out. Deathless in 3 games. He went 23-0, and I believe it was 12 or 18 assists. He didn't die, and he had 20 plus kills. 2 Kai'Sa games and that Lucian. Impeccable performance from him. Vulcan and Cody really stepped up in that third game. They didn't even need jungle attention. Lyra, rarely does he gank bottom lane for Clutch, but apparently he doesn't need to because they can just win that 2v2 straight up. Clutch and North America survived the scare of the group stage, and they are off to the main group draw. We'll see where these guys are actually seated after the other 2 knockout rounds go, but fully expecting Clutch to go into Group C alongside Fnatic, SKT, and RNG.